personally didn't see that coming, but it looks like that Samsung, on the 11th of October 2018, might very well launch the best value phone of the year. Salut YouTube, it's Christophe Langlois, and yes, I never thought I would ever say that, but it looks like Samsung managed to overcome what Poco and Xiaomi achieved recently, which is to provide a highly spec value phone, and more than that, an exciting phone at a very reasonable price. And arguably, three of the key criteria when choosing a phone are the audio call quality. No, I'm just joking. 1, the display. People like very nice, very crisp display. 2, the camera experience. So they like to be able to take very good quality photos and very decent as well videos, especially in higher resolutions. And 3 is the battery life. With the Samsung Galaxy A7, it seems like potentially Samsung managed to nail it, especially for a reasonable 350 euros. So let's go through a few of the key features of that new upcoming phone. The camera experience. I mentioned that the Poco F1 is a very well-rounded phone. The camera is very decent, but it's not amazing. The front and rear camera modules are some of the most exciting features of the Galaxy A7. First of all, the front-facing camera. It's a 24 megapixel shooter with an aperture of f2.0. So it's bright enough to be able to take decent selfies, even in low light. And again, it should do a decent job for video as well with a decent amount of bokeh. The leak doesn't talk about the size of the pixels, and that's one of the key weaknesses again on the Poco F1. It's a decent size shooter, it's 20 meg I believe, but the size of the pixels is very small. Hence a quality which is very decent, but it's nothing like exceptional, especially in low light. And the rear camera module is even more exciting. At last, Samsung is launching a triple camera on the back of the Galaxy A7, which is a first time for Samsung. That new camera module fits into the new strategy from Samsung, which is to innovate within the mid-range market. So that means that we won't necessarily see in the future new features like that launched first and foremost on the S line and or the Note line. But instead, they will try to innovate again and disrupt the mid-range market. Of course, we should still expect to see like pumped up features on their S and Note lines, so which means that in that case, the triple camera module will be much improved and upgraded in time for the launch of the Galaxy S10 early next year. So what's the fuss about the triple camera setup? First of all, you've got like the main shooter, the main sensor, which is 24 megapixel at 1.7 aperture, which again is very wide, which means that it should do very well in low light. Then you've got a second sensor, which is a depth sensor. It's a 5 megapixels and it's 2.2 of aperture. And last but not least, you've got an ultra wide sensor, which means that they adopt the type of LG approach, which is to provide a lower megapixel sensor, but much wider, which should enable to capture much more of the scenery in front of you. And this is a 8 megapixel f2.4. So the quality will probably be average compared to the main shooter, but it would be interesting to see how detailed the image and the videos will be with that camera module. Of course, the camera module is one thing, the sensors are one thing, but the processing power and prowess of the microchip within the smartphone will condition its ability to produce great images. Interesting to see in that case that, and that's not a plus, right, compared to the Poco F1, but the processor won't be, again, the flagship processor from Samsung. So let alone, again, the Qualcomm 845. It's going to be a mid-range device. It's going to be interesting to see how efficient that processor will be to, again, process images and videos on the fly. So it's going to be fast. What about, again, the quality of the processing? What about the noise reduction? So there's still a lot to discover, but it's super exciting. Let's put it that way. I won't put the P20 Pro to shame, and even less the upcoming Mate 20 Pro, which seems to be a beast of a phone, especially in the camera department. Another pro for the Samsung Galaxy A7 compared to the Poco F1 is the IP68 certification. So no worries there with putting your device in the water by accident or going in the swimming pool on vacation and take some shots. You won't get any trouble here. With the Poco F1, you need to be pretty careful because it's not supposed to be waterproof. So that's potentially a big pro for the Samsung device. No problem at all, it's very readable. So it's a good display, but we know that Samsung is the king of displays. You will expect a better display on the Samsung Galaxy A7. And of course, it's going to be a Super AMOLED display. On that note, please let me talk very quickly about battery life. This, again, the Poco F1's got 4000 milliamp per hour battery. So it's a big size, big capacity, and you can get easily 1 day of intensive use with that phone. Not 2 days, and not for heavy users, but 1 day for sure. Probably a day and a half, maybe 2 if you're a light user. On the Galaxy A7, it's just a 3300 milliamp battery. So I'd be curious to see how well they're doing. Plus, the processor is not the best one. It's not the latest, greatest from Samsung. And the size of the screen is still sizable at 6 inches. So it's a bit smaller than that, but still, it's going to be very interesting to see how well the upcoming Samsung device will perform from a battery life standpoint. If you're a fan of using your smartphone to pay for things, you'll be happy to know that the Samsung Galaxy A7 comes with NFC, even though it says optional on the GSM Arena website, so I'm not sure what that means. But that's one of the big negatives of the Poco F1. If that matters to you, there is no NFC, so no mobile payments with that. I personally don't really care, so it doesn't bother me on a daily basis at all. I suspect you, just like me, you're happy to have the ability to add extra storage on the Poco F1 and the upcoming Samsung Galaxy A7. If you're like me as well and you like taking photos, you got a camera, I know you can share with Wi-Fi, but sometimes I find it easier just to use the SD card. You'll be happy to know, that on the Samsung Galaxy A7, allegedly, there will be a dedicated micro SD card slot. And I think it's a big plus in terms of convenience and in terms of audio. Both devices seem very capable devices in terms of audio quality. They both have stereo speakers. The Poco F1 is very good. They both have like a headphone jack, which is great. And again, very good sound on the Poco F1. Curious to see how the Samsung Galaxy A7 performs. But a feature which is going to be available allegedly on the Samsung Galaxy A7 and which is not there is the Dolby Atmos. Considering that Samsung is present everywhere and has got relationships with most carriers worldwide, and of course especially in Europe and in the UK for us, be prepared again to have a better level of customer support, or to have some kind of customer support with the Samsung device, contrary to the Xiaomi/Poco. Again, great device, very cost effective. I bought it through a eBay seller based in the UK, which allegedly will be able to provide some kind of warranty within 12 months. But again, I'm not too sure about the responsiveness of the team, the lead time as well, if there's a problem on the phone, and that's a bit of a worry. That's always a worry when you import phones from China, for instance. With Samsung, it should be much easier. You should have access to contact centers pretty much every day, so you should be able again to get a problem solutioned pretty quickly. So I find it pretty important and pretty good in terms of peace of mind. And by the way, I strongly believe that that's a big plus for Apple. I know very few people mention that, but when you use the customer service, customer support from Apple, this is something invaluable. I think with Samsung's device, you'll be able to find something towards, that general direction, and so a much better level of peace of mind than if you decide to go with the Poco F1. At least in the UK, and at least for now. That might change in the future. The Samsung Galaxy A7 comes with 4 colors, so it's pretty cool. The Poco F1 also comes with a few different colors, especially again if you buy it in China or in India or that part of the world. In Europe, that still remains to be seen, how many colors we'll have access to. I know that myself, going through that eBay seller to receive it very quickly, very early in the UK, I had to go for black. So a few question marks though with the Samsung Galaxy A7. First of all, if I read correctly on the, again, GSM Arena website, it seems like it's coming with micro USB. Micro USB. Seriously? In 2018? Samsung? For a mid-range device from the Galaxy line? Wow, that's a shocker. So I'm really hoping that in that case, GSM Arena is wrong, but I doubt it. And that would suck. Because as you know, the Poco F1 comes with USB-C, which again makes sense in 2018 for a powerful device from a well-established brand. The processor as well on the Samsung Galaxy A7, as I mentioned before, curious to see how well it performs, not for general tasks, but in terms, for instance, of camera, so camera processing, and also in terms of battery life. That's a big question mark so far. And the NFC. So I believe it's enabled within the Samsung Galaxy A7 device, but it says optional on GSM Arena's website. So again, I wonder what that means. but I'm strongly expecting and hoping that in the UK, you'll be able to use NFC on the Galaxy A7. Et voilà! So those are the reasons why I strongly believe that the Samsung Galaxy A7 might very well be an even better value budget phone in 2018, even better than the Poco F1. Again, I never thought I would say that, but it seems like a more exciting device. The Poco F1 is an excellent device. I love using it on a daily basis. It's reliable, it's fast, it lasts long. So it's very good, it's almost perfect for me, bar the camera experience. But the Samsung Galaxy A7 looks more exciting, again, better rounded. And that camera module on the back, but also that selfie shooter, again, that seems really fun potentially to use and exciting. So you're smiling, right? It's something fun, even at that price. The prime of the Poco F1, it's a great phone, but there's nothing exceptional about it. But it doesn't have the one killer feature or feature which makes it so thrilling to use and to show your friends. And that, my friend, looks like Samsung managed to achieve that for 350 euros. Bravo, Samsung. So this is what I think, but what do you think? So please leave your comments and your questions and reactions in the comment section below. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. That helps us a lot. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. But please leave a comment as well to explain why you didn't like it and how we could improve. Please consider subscribing because it helps the channel and us a lot. Those videos take a long time to produce. It's not my job. I've got a regular job. I buy everything myself as well, so I'm not sponsored. So again, that would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, and in the meantime, salut, à bientôt YouTube.